Hi everyone! Today is a bit of a weird day. At least, like, weather-wise, I mean. Because there's lots of cloudiness today, and it's showering. Like, it's not rain, but it's like shower, so it's very light. And so the sun is coming in and out of the clouds. Right now, there is a bit of sun, but it's half sunny, half cloudy kind of thing going on. So I will periodically be editing my exposure on here and possibly turning on more lights. Just to let you know. So let us get on to the book review. I have just finished Glinda of Oz by L. Frank Baum, illustrated by John R. Neal. Okay, so it's a good, interesting book. I sadly cannot say that is one of my absolute favorite Oz books as previously. But it's a real interesting story. We get to go into the Gillikin country and find like other areas in the Gillikin country besides the Forest of Gugu. Obviously, there's more magic and sorcery involved in this book, which I don't know why. Like, there's always like a magic and sorcery, a magic of sort in all the books, because you have the Tin Woodsman, the Scarecrow, the Patchwork Girl. They're just like, seriously, they come alive with some sort of magic. Like, literally, the Patchwork Girl and Jack Pumpkinhead were sprinkled with the Powder of Life, which is basically like a physical sort of magic to put on them. And I have my friend talking to me right now, but I'm talking to you guys right now. But it's interesting to see like how Ozma, Glinda, and the wizard's magic is, and what sort of magic they do, and sort of stuff. And apparently they do have limitations, because Ozma has fairy magic, and apparently that's only to a certain extent. Glinda has a sorceress or sorcery magic, and the Wizard of Oz has wizardry. And apparently they all have a certain extent, only a certain extent to what they are able to do. Like, with me, magic, I think they pretty much should be able to do almost whatever they want to do. With fairies, they certainly do have a certain extent, but like sorcery and wizardry, I almost think they should be able to do whatever they want. Almost basically. I can't say much about this because I had such a far time in between like reading everything in here. We also are introduced to more magic people. I'm not going to say much of who, but I am going to say we are introduced to some more besides the Kuio, the Wicked Queen of the Skeezers, and the Supreme Dictator, or the Sudic of the Flathead group. I can't remember why I said those two things, but whatever. When they're attempting to do the rescue part of like Dorothy and Ozma, and then the Skeezers, when Kuio submerges the Dome Kingdom of the Skeezer, we are introduced to a magic that controls like machinery and stuff like that. And well, basically just that, because this sort of magic controls a bridge that connects the island to the mainland. It controls these submarine type things, and it controls them by going out of the kingdom and coming back, and like the doors and the pumps and stuff that are involved with the submarine parts, and then another thing that controls the island going up and down, like submerging it in water and bringing it up into the air. For me, I think this was more informative and like finding out more stuff about this unknown land that we go to. It's not really an exciting adventure story like when we read like The Lost Princess of Oz, where we do find out about we are introduced to other characters that inhabit other parts of the Winky Country, but it felt more, it had a little more excitement, it had a little more risk and danger to it opposed to this book. Like, obviously Dorothy and Ozma are trapped, and the Sudic is a much more meaner person. Sadly, that stuff, I can't get the proper words out, and I can't even think of what I am attempting to say and want to tell you guys. But it just didn't give me that sense of, basically it didn't give me that sense of almost terror, and not really terror, but a little frightening and concern about Ozma, Dorothy, and the Skeezers when they got trapped in the Glass Dome Kingdom. That's just me. For my age, maybe to a child it would be, maybe to someone younger and more, maybe, what's a weird face, a child and like middle schooler, which would be like grade 6 to 8, it would be maybe a little more frightening and more concerning about characters. But for me, it didn't hold that kind of feeling as The Lost Princess of Oz and previous books have done for me. There's another interesting thing about this book, is that we meet this group of spiders who just don't care that Ozma is the ruler of Oz, and like he kind of believes her. It's like, if you really are, I just basically don't care and just will not submit to your rule. And like all the spiders are like that we meet. Basically, like, it's the first group that you meet, and then you meet these fog fairies. Remember the Rainbow's Daughter? These are like, those are rainbow fairies, and maybe like in like sky fairies. These are, I guess, another version of sky fairies, but they call in here like they're fog fairies, or I think maybe like mist fairies, because it's like a big mist down in like in a valley between two mountains. And I don't know if they really would not did exactly acknowledge Ozma as their ruler, but they did help Dorothy and Ozma when they were unsure of going through the foggy mist. I can't think of much else to say to tell you, but like, all in all, this was a good, as I said, a good, interesting story, and you get to be introduced to more characters and people that live in the Gillikin country, which is north, and their place is purple. And you are basically introduced to like all the magic of sorts involved in the Land of Oz and the people's magic and stuff like that, which it's good. But if Baum had lived longer, I think he might have made an even more better book that I would feel better about. Like, this book, it's not that it leaves a sour note, but there's something about it that it's just like, it's okay. I kind of wish it would have been better, especially with it being that it is his last book technically. After this time and reading the last book, I don't know if I even will read the other books that new Oz historians have made, but that's at a later date. I'm sorry, I don't have much else for this, because again, it didn't like basically pull me as much. Like, other books have do that. Sadly, this one just didn't. And it's the last book of the Oz series. It's the 14th book. I wish it had, because then it would be like, I feel very satisfied. I'm satisfied that I am finished the series, but I guess I'm not satisfied enough because it didn't completely satisfy me. I guess I'm half satisfied or something like that. But it's up to you to make your final decision on this book, whether or not you read it. If you're like me and you have to complete things, then yes, totally finish the series, read this book. It's a good story. It's interesting. It just might not be as so exciting, and that's just my personal thought. Other people, as I said, will probably think it's a really good, really exciting, excellent story. But that's just me. So read it. Don't read it. I can't force you. If you have anything positive, we can discuss the book and you can even tell me your own review and your own thoughts down in the comments below. We can even have a discussion if you want. Just nothing negative, nothing hurtful. Nothing criticizing. We want I even want constructive comments that are just positive and not negative. I can't really say what I want, but that's basically what I'm wanting to say. I've been thinking about it for a while now while I was finishing it, the last few chapters, not just the 3 chapters today, but previously when I was finishing it, that we can possibly even start doing that. I probably should have said it before, but I'm going to start saying it now, maybe. Well, I do, and I'm going to try to remember saying it.
Oh, gosh, the sun and the exposure, and this is the farthest exposure that I can do that is making me, I'm such a bright, shiny person. I'm so freaking pale. But I can't change it. I can't do any more to it. Or else I'm going to be some sort of bright, shining star to you guys, and that's not good, because my eyes are starting to hurt right now, and if I change any more, I'm going to start hurting your guys' eyes.
That was this book. This was such a bad review, and I'm so sorry. But that was this book, and I'm finally finished. I was at the library today, so I put on hold another book, as I don't know if I told you, but I recently saw Home in the theaters with Manny. It was a really great story, and at the end of it, I found out that it's a book. So the actual story is called The True Meaning of Smekday by Adam Rex. And it is a juvenile story, obviously. And this, from the small synopsis that I read when I was putting it on hold, is that it actually is Tip, the main girl of the story. In the book, it's actually her writing basically a summer report, or like that, of what happened and stuff. That's basically what it is. It's her talking about Smekday, or Moving Day, almost according to the movie. So I'm going to be reading this, and now I will read all the lovely bits to you. Feeling very awkward right now. Okay. It all starts with a school essay. 12-year-old Gratuity Tucci is assigned to write 5 pages on the true meaning of Smekday for the National Time Capsule Contest. She's not sure where to begin. When her mom started telling everyone about the messages aliens were sending through a mole on the back of her neck. When her mom started telling everyone about the messages aliens were sending through a mole on the back of her neck? Sorry, it's a question mark, so I try to read it as a question. That was just a little weird to read anyway. Maybe on Christmas Eve, when huge, bizarre spaceships descended to Earth, and aliens, called the Boom, abducted her mother? Or when the Boom declared Earth a colony, renamed it Smekland in honor of glorious Captain Smek, and forced all Americans to relocate to Florida via rocket pod? Alright, sorry, there's a map on here that has, an X, last name Rex, and then it goes down to here to Florida, which, as it says here that I'm reading, that they are relocated there. But then it squiggles and then is going all the way over to this little state here, which I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys in the States are people who really know all the United States of America. You can leave it in the comment below telling me what state this one is. Gratuity's story is much, much bigger than the assignment. It involves her unlikely friendship with a renegade boove mechanic named J-Lo, a futile journey south to find Gratuity's mother at the Happy Mouse Kingdom, a cross-country road trip in a hovercar called Slushius, and an outrageous plan to save Earth from yet another alien invasion. Fully illustrated with photos, drawings, newspaper clippings, and comic sequences, this is a hilarious, perceptive, genre-bending novel by a remarkable new talent. Adam Rex is the illustrator of The Dirty Cowboy by Amy Timberlake, Steamboat Comin' by Jill Baum, and Small Beauties by Elvira Woodruff. He wrote and illustrated Tree Ring Circus and the New York Times bestseller Frankenstein Makes a Sandwich. Adam lives with his wife in Philadelphia. There's a drawing right there of the hovercar. Sorry, because I'm trying to get as much light on me as possible, so there's the hovercar and all that stuff. And you can see there's the cat. There's Pig. And then, oops, let's get that thing out of the book. Here's a picture of Tip and her mom. And this is the dedication page, and it says here, Mrs. Jennifer Lopez. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at this to see at the how long chapter thing. Okay, all right. This is a weird, interesting thing going on. All right, so that's this book, and that's all I'm going to show you of this book. I'm going to get started on this book relatively today. And this is my book. I started this book because, as you can see, I just started it. So that until I got this book, and I do this between if I have a book from the library or if I have, like, 6 chapters from this book to read, but I have no time like the day before, so I start the next book basically. So this is my home next book that is mine, that I own. It is called The Man from Blue River by Judith Bowen. West Bank Ranch, west of the Blue River, Wyoming. Fraser McKenna is the owner of West Bank Ranch. Strong, too silent, a still grieving widower. Martha Thomas is the woman who comes to stay. Martha's at loose ends, her job downsized out of existence. She's a city woman driving through the western states looking for adventure. Then, a small town Wyoming newspaper. She sees this ad. Wanted. Lady companion for 2 girls. Remote location. No cooking, housekeeping required. On a whim, she applies for the job and gets hired. That day, her life starts to change. And so do the lives of Fraser and the 2 little girls. Who would think she'd end up married to the rancher from Blue River? Even if it is a marriage of convenience. A marriage for the children's sake. And even if she has to do the proposing herself. She was marrying a man she'd never kissed. This wasn't a dream. She was marrying Fraser McKenna after all. The man who stood beside her, tall and strong, dressed unfamiliarly in suit and tie. Where were the jeans and sheepskin vest? This man was about to become her husband. Martha's heart beat so quickly she thought she'd faint. She heard the girls, her daughters-to-be, giggle somewhere behind her, and heard Bertie LeBlanc's. Shh! The LeBlancs, like Fraser's other neighbors, had been shocked but at the same time delighted by the news. Probably half of them thought she was already pregnant. Pay attention, she told herself. You're marrying this man beside you, a man you barely know, for better or for worse. But no matter where their marriage went in the future, even if it ended one day, Every vow she uttered this hour, this minute, came straight from her heart. Yep, and I believe, what chapter I'm already on? I am on chapter 4 already. So, that's the end of that. I have something else I need to show you. No, I'm sorry for the zoom in. I am going to make another video in like 2 seconds roughly. Not exactly 2 seconds, but about 2 seconds. And that's it. So I'm going to end this because I want to get out of the bright sunlight. It's hurting my eyes and I usually end up getting a headache like right there. I need to do a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to end my video now. Bye guys. What the hell did I do that for? Leave comments below about what you think of the book if you read it. Please don't say anything negative about my weird videoing. Because I know I need to work on stuff. And I know I want to get a new camera. I want to get a new video editing thing, but that comes with money and I only get so much money after paying for all the necessities that I need to get and buying food for me and my boyfriend. Ending this here. I'm feeling awkward now and you don't need to see any more of my awkwardness. Bye everyone.